going on? A couple people getting in here. Just showing up, getting started here. Gonna walk in a little bit. Meeting starts at 6:30. I missed this one last month. I did watch the Zoom feed from the meeting and didn't watch it all. We're at the beginning. The fire chief had some words for the board, so we never know what's going to happen here. About got in a car accident on the way here. Somebody decided to try to back it out of their driveway without stopping. Butt pucker up moment. We're out here at the Swamp Memorial Hall in Edenville, Michigan. Howdy. You got, I think you use this door over here. Yeah. Oh, there's a door right around the corner right over here. Nope, right over here. This is the township that I live in. Had some problems with the elected clerk last year. After about about 8 months. Her throwing fits, fighting with everybody, this and that. Making Facebook posts, inciting violence against me, inciting people to whoop my ass or whatnot. And I come up here one day for they're interviewing some people and asked her some questions, and then at the end of that month she ended up resigning. So get on in here and find a seat.
Yeah. And see, I thought it was like, okay.
It is not. He's done with it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to ask.
That's a great reason.
You know, in high school, like high school, elementary school, they're all locked.
Do you want me to hang up your?
Well, that's a different scenario.
Yes.
Well, I told them, I'm like, well,
I
ask to see if they're.
Hi, Steve. Good to see you, sir.
Good.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
scared me for a moment. I didn't know who that was.
So you either you drop.
That's true.
And it was locked and they didn't know what to do.
I I don't know if
I
they
thought
really
they
know.
were like 2 cans of beef the other day.
Oh, it's good seeing you. I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
I know what happened. I know
You'd
what
be
happened.
amazed at
But
all
it's
the
been a
things that
good
you're
break.
like, one week.
Yeah.
It's cool.
What's that? Oh, thank you.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Great.
Good.
He's
I'm
here
doing
to
good.
Keep us in line tonight? Earl, right?
That's like a good idea. Karen.
New Year, right?
Happy New Year.
I'm feeling, just so you know.
Please.
Hey,
How are you doing?
good.
Oh.
We always use it, but
Say anything.
not gonna happen tonight.
Yeah, well, no, it's in.
This mine?
One or two.
You did yours
Is there a limit of buildings?
Okay.
Outbuildings,
Yeah.
you can have a garage and outbuilding, but you can't use the outbuildings. Yeah, I looked, I couldn't find anything.
I can, I'm real familiar with studying that zoning ordinance for like.
Oh.
years.
I was like,
And I had
Yeah.
the
Well, it's caught up.
buildings, I could look at it, we had another one over on Western Road. Going to, containers,
Yeah.
they have to have hurricane tied out though. That's usually all.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
You're already starting for my homework, too.
Anyway,
Okay.
me too. Look at
So
it.
I'm looking at number 8 specs. Okay.
Yeah. What about, you know, the rest? That's a regular one.
And then I said that.
Thank you.
And they have to do this level, or should that,
Are those new ones?
but they haven't had.
Oh, yes.
I think so.
Yeah, I read them.
Oh, it's an application form. Put that away.
You're done applying.
I'm
Okay,
sure.
Am I gonna cry tonight?
How are you doing?
I'll take one.
I'm in a tissue.
Where are you at? Tissue box.
Any container that's used as a storage unit must be located by
Oh, nice.
Well, we get so many of these things, other thing happens, we gotta bring it up.
Yeah,
Okay, I talked to Gary once, I'll talk to him again, tomorrow.
I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
I will look that up for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kathy talked to you about the use of the money.
I didn't love that.
You know, there's a couple bigger towns, even though like the truck one, got $80,000, if you put that in my class, get that over. You know, we're still there, if you need it, you can still get it. But it's getting, $10 interest, so if you get $1,000 interest, so we're not, I mean, that's not crazy. So when they want something, we can do that, you know?
Is this my good side, Tim?
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt.
He asked for that. That's good though.
Yeah.
It's a good comeback.
And it was appropriate.
We got one here. That's
Awesome.
Thanks.
That's yours. That's yours.
That can go in the hole in the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's got like a shoe down.
Okay.
It's got to go. So that appears on.
Yeah.
You're sending that.
Oh, is it yours?
Problem, I got your
Oh,
email.
okay.
So they got it all messed up. They got rid of infers now, it's on Ramirez, and they haven't even updated the reporting system to combine them.
Okay, I just wondered, because I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
what I
that's
said.
a significant report. I was
So-
like, that's a lot.
I switched over to Ramirez,
When
we talked about that.
Okay.
I switched over to December 16th, and then so anything after December 16th, yeah, they're working on combining it, they gotta get rid of infers first, which is gonna happen in February.
Okay, well, that's,
That's confusing.
yeah.
It's confusing me.
So, with the grants,
Okay, good, I wanted to make sure to get you something.
yeah.
Yeah, we know, I'm sorry, I didn't get back from service,
I can get, like I said, I'm.
We got a new quote in the gear.
Yeah.
It went up
I did have it, Crystal.
On what?
You did?
7,750.
Send it
Oh,
around.
for the bigger packs. That
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
everything else went up too. So
Yeah.
for 16,
He was so
that's
mad.
what was
I would be
185.
At himself, he was just mad at himself.
Well,
So,
well,
you know,
yeah.
but at least we know now,
Oh, yeah.
so.
Mhm.
But I got that from the past.
Yeah. Sweet. I know you're talking to Scott, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to start. We'll call the meeting to order.
Recording in progress.
And as the device said, we're being recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, I'd ask that you step out. The recording will be posted to the web shortly, typically within a week of the meeting. It'll be up on the website for that. With that, I'd welcome everyone to the January 2026 version of the Edenville Township Board meeting. We'll start by a pledge of allegiance. Folks, please stand. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Folks, please bow their heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight humbly asking for wisdom and grace so that we may conduct the business of Edenville Township in a wise and judicious fashion. We ask that you let us make good deliberations and righteous decisions. To my fellow trustees, I believe we have properly noticed this meeting to the best of our abilities according to the Open Meeting Act. Did I see a nods if folks tend to agree? Excellent, thank you very much. And as I said earlier, welcome to the January edition of our board meeting here. Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
It's been established. We will open public comment at 6:32 PM. Is there any public comment?
I do. I got one.
Okay.
Kind of upset, Art, that you sent me an email the other day, which kind of tore me up a little bit. I'm not a full-time fire chief. I'm here to do your job for the township. I work my butt off, try to get everything for you. I'm sorry I didn't get with Kim right away, but I've been busy. I told you yesterday, I emailed you guys the other day that I had a jury duty. So I didn't get picked. I called you soon, I texted you guys as soon as I did. I don't like the comments that's being made out like that. I do my best for you. And I thought we had trust, but apparently we don't. Just to let you know, my guys are behind me 100%. So I just want to give you that heads up.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Is there any other public comment? Is there any other public comment? Public comment is closed at 6:33. Okay, on to the agenda before us. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, I approve.
Seconded.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, we've got a motion and a second. Are there any additions, changes, corrections, thoughts, adds?
We had talked about previously about adding the ability for folks, for us to have our.
It's at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two.
More comments.
Oh, it's just listed differently than previously. That's, okay, thank you.
Anything else? Changes, comments, additions? Hearing none, I'll take a voice vote. Those in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. We have the agenda. Moving on to minutes, I actually got comments. First of all, I want to thank folks for indulging me. I was a tad tardy in getting them out. And then once I did write the minutes, I thought I hit send and I sent the note without the minutes attached. It wasn't until someone reminded me. But I did get comments from, I think, all four of you had input. And it's all been incorporated in these that were distributed.
Just a minor thing,
Yes, ma'am?
21E1, there's an equal instead, I think you wanted a dash. 21E1, super. Before they go. See for the not for profit. 21 times 1.
Are you, I'm not.
Draft minutes for December 9th, Township Board,
Yeah.
And is it E1,
21 E1,
E1, and
it says for not.
Oh.
profit. A
Oh,
dash,
darn.
That's all.
actually two,
It's
not four.
minor.
Yes.
And I have one minor change.
Yes, ma'am.
Under new planning commission, next steps, please replace a B with a P. Mr. Potts.
Where you at?
Second page, under next steps, fourth bullet.
Well, that would be true. You are
Miss-
Mr. Potts, not Mr. Bots. I apologize. Thank God my life was not what it was, depending upon my touch typing abilities. Any other changes, additions, corrections? And with the changes so presented, do I have a motion to accept?
What changes, yes. Okay, great.
I'll second.
Very much. Any other comments? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. We have approved minutes. Thank you very much. Moving on to the treasurer's report,
Okay.
and that's included in your packet.
It is. However,
You have some additions too.
I forgot my laptop, so I don't have all my notes. Anyway, we'll start with, we'll just go over the totals there below line 16. So our beginning balance for December was 550,000. And ending balance is 1.2 million. And that, most of that was, of course, generated by taxes.
Also move this one down.
And investments accounts are the next group down. They're below line 23. total investments at the beginning of the month, 1.1 million, at the end of the month. A little less than 1.1 million. So with, the federal government, making some adjustments, to our financials, it's caused our investments to drop a little bit. And so let's see, and then going down below that, line 24 is our Swanton Trust Fund. You can see that dropped just a little bit. It also includes an $18,000 disbursement, which is an annual disbursement from the fund to the township. Then I'm going to just comment on a couple things. We received $18,000 up there in line number 1 in our general checking account. We get this once a year, I believe. It's an annual distribution of payment in lieu of taxes on state-owned land in the township. There's about 7,000 acres in our township owned, and that was about $18,000 that came in. Also, we received $45,000 on the state revenue sharing that was deposited in December. And let me see, where am I? Also, something to note is that we have been, we're winding up our audit, and this is not really my topic, this is more Kim's, but working together on that, and a couple things that we'll see. One is that the reimbursement from fire and Swanton back to the township checking for payroll, that has taken place for this year, July 1 to September 30th, and we'll proceed doing that every quarter. And I will try to note that as we do that. But we also will do a reimbursement from July 1, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, so last fiscal year. There are some reimbursements that need to go from fire and Swanton back to the township checking. So that will take place. So those are not in my report here. So that will bring down fire balances and operating line 7, and then also Swanton. Okay, and then let's see here. And then we'll go back to the treasurer's report at the bottom. We have some tax updates. As far as collection go, you can see second from the bottom, summer taxes. We've collected on 1,622 parcels. And we've collected a total of 1.2 million. That's, we have 7% yet to be collected. Not bad. Winter, we've got 380 parcels collected so far as of the date of end of December. And that comes to about 879,000. So it's been a very busy 10 days in that regard. Collected a lot. And then one other ad, I'm sorry, I should have added this to the agenda possibly. I gave you a picture.
Can we accept the report first?
Oh,
Yeah, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer?
Exception file, treasury report.
Okay.
Kath, I have one question. We talked last night about moving some money around. We can talk about that tonight, or go wait for another time. Take my class money, taking some and put my
yes,
class.
could we do that, or should we do that now or next?
Well, that's next, that's
Yes,
coming right up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Second.
thank you very much. And
Okay.
I assume those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have accepted a report. Thank you all very much. Now,
MI
Yes,
class.
okay, yes, MI class. Something that I noticed early on in our bank accounts and investment accounts, that we have what's called an MI class available to townships for making those investments, and that is yielding a pretty good interest rate. And especially when I compare it to the money market accounts that we do have some of our investments in. And you'll see that in lines 17 through 23. So in lines 17 through 23, may I look at this? Sure. I handed out a Michigan class page there with, that's our statement as of December 31. And just to give an example there, I highlighted in the total column, $2,000 interest earned on about $600,000 in the MI class. If we look at lines 21 through 23 on my treasurer's report, you'll see there's about 400, 500,000 there, those three totals. And you move over to the interest earned column, and you'll see that's about $80 this month. So if I'm recommending, or I'm gonna say, make a motion to move cash from money market, low interest bearing, to MI class, higher interest bearing accounts. Also, I found that it's very easy to move money from bank accounts to the MI class. They've now secured that through transfers. Very easy and doesn't take long at all.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Which
Any
account,
conversation?
which accounts are we proposing to move the money from, and then how much from those accounts?
So I'm estimating right now about $500,000 we're going to move from bank accounts and money market accounts, and I will point those out to you. One of those is line number 6 on my report. That's the fire capital fund. And you can see we have about $82,000 in there. Now drop down to the investments, line 17. We already have a fire capital fund there, and that's sitting at $7,500. And so what that will do is generate much more interest.
Sure, not arguing that question would be, what do
That's
you
one
think
of them. Yes,
fair, right, so before we move to the next one, the question would be,
yes.
what kind of expenses do we expect to come out of that account? I mean, how much would we want to leave there for to cover that?
Like I said, it's very easy to move money from MI class into our checking account.
So you're recommending moving the entire amount?
Yes, and actually closing the bank account. Because as you can.
Close number 6
Mhm.
and move it to
Yes,
number 17.
yes.
If we need that money, are there any restrictions?
Mm-mm.
So we can go get it at
Mhm.
any time,
Very easily.
okay?
Mhm.
So that's gonna go from $7,000 plus 82, which would be about close to $500 a month, going in extra in the fund. Okay,
Is that done with that penalty, on the interest?
And also, I would like to note, line number 10, Parks and Rec. Because it may be a month or two before that is used in the future. That could be moved over in its own account. Now, when I say we're to move over to MI class, each of these will have their
Okay, so,
independent
Parks and Rec.
account in the MI class. Yeah, if they don't already. All right.
I'm just
And
hesitant to close the accounts completely, the bank accounts. Maybe not.
Well, we do have a pass-through account. We have an ACH account, business checking line number 3, that we use as a pass-through account for many things. And if we have something that's coming due and we need to bring the money back and use it to pay for something.
Yeah, I'm well out of my element here.
So-
This room knows that, I'm a words, letters,
Yeah.
words.
So I think
But it
what-
just seems to me like when I do my own investments, once I reach a certain point, then I take that and invest it, but I still leave some money in my checking or
Yeah,
whatever.
this is the one thing that's really nice about MI class is it's very liquid. It is essentially like having an account sitting in a federal fund, and you say, I need the money, and you call your broker, and like, boom, and usually like 24, 48 hours is in your account. There's nothing, there's no tricks behind it. The other thing too is fire truck capital fund, as it sits in the current account is a non-interest bearing account, so.
I'm all for getting interested,
So-
I agree, I'm just
but
asking if
the
there's
thing is
any benefit.
Here's the thing is, we use for our I'm gonna use fire as an example. The fire checking account is where all the bills are paid from. So what's sitting in the savings account and what is sitting in the capital account are just funds sitting. And to me, the general operations account might need, we might wanna keep us like 2 months of expenses in there, just as, for easy, and replenish it every 2 months. But again, there's excess funds, there could be excess funds sitting there. Now, these are also, you'll be making disbursements soon from millages. So this is all pre-2026 or the 2025
Fine.
tax disbursements.
Right.
So these are what I would, from a standpoint, investment, looking like, oh, these are things that we should be investigating very closely.
So there's 2 things here at play. We have far exceeded the amount of independent bank accounts that, and it's recommended by MTA, it's recommended you don't need that many, especially when you're considering ledgers. So accounts 1 through, 16 each have their independent ledger. And that's not needed because some of those accounts can be itemized by using the chart of accounts, Michigan chart of accounts in the general ledger, and that's typically how the general ledger is kept.
Does my class have any restrictions on the amount totally in the accounts? No restriction?
No.
A state account, right? Okay.
Very, very well done in terms of servicing the townships.
Yeah, we're making on the
it's-
general fund, we're making a couple $1,000s a month, basically. And if we can boost the fire funds up $500 a month, I'm all for that.
Right.
And the Swanton account is probably the most dangerous one that we have.
Well,
Needs addressing.
that stays there.
I know, but we need to
That's gonna
address-
take a lot more
we talked about
research
Swanton
before
last
we
night.
know anything
Because
other than.
Swanton doesn't pay for itself. And that's why one of the
Well-
reasons we raised the stuff last month.
No,
It
I
doesn't
would
pay.
like to point out 2 other accounts in line 22 and 23, the water assessment. That's
Those are money.
$250,000, and you can see the interest is so low. So that one and the one below it, water improvement money market account, $160,000. I think we would benefit very well by adding 2 new MI class and closing those money market accounts. I don't think they'll be going anywhere. In fact, like Kim was saying, the disbursements will begin from the winter tax collection, and so they will probably increase. And also any new water hookups or water payoffs go into those, so one of those assessments. And then, yeah, okay. Any other questions for me?
Okay, let's have a vote then. Those in favor of supporting this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
I think it's very smart, that we make more money for the township.
Oh, and I wanted to add this note. This is something that I've been watching for the last year, that knowing we could earn more. And so about 6 months into this position, I realized that, okay, we can definitely do this, getting more familiar with the accounts, with the MI class, how it's functioning, and they're doing nothing but improving things. But then the audit kicked in. And so Kim and I have been working so closely with the auditors, and especially with this, and making sure that we will follow making good transactions. Everything will be documented, and they gave the go ahead. So that's why it's kind of happening now. Okay.
You had something else, yeah?
Okay, do we want the motion?
Well, that's already done.
Oh, we did it. Yes. Okay, thank you. Yes, last but not least, I handed out a picture of a secure box that I think would do us well in our external Dropbox in the office where we find taxes being dropped off, etc. Right now, it's not secure. And so this is something I think would do us well. It would fit in that area, that
Hole in the wall.
that hole in the wall. I mean, there wouldn't be anything to do. It has a key lock. It should fit in there pretty well without much work at all. And so that purchase would be $189. So I would make a motion to make that purchase. Second?
I guess since it's spending
money,
money,
better
better do a roll call.
Yeah, any other discussion or comment?
It'll come out of general fund.
Or treasure.
Yeah, the treasurer.
It could come out of the treasure.
Oh, I can see it being used for, well, no, we have a Dropbox.
Yeah.
And there's other things like, Z-Clubs get dropped
Oh,
in
we
there.
get all
and
kinds of
There's a
different things.
miscellaneous, but it's
Yeah,
highly
so
used
probably would
taxes.
fit for you.
The treasure color?
Black or beige? What's your preference?
Black.
Oh.
Jim, you're gonna leave your mark on the township because it's gonna be black.
But not the black box.
Okay.
All right, Crystal,
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
thank you. Jim,
Yes.
Art,
Yes,
Kathy,
Yes.
and Kim, yes, thank you.
And last but not least, I have ARPA to update everyone on. Now that we know that in April, they will be again reviewing the submissions that they finalized at the end of last year. End of December was the final date of submitting things. Yes, and we did that. And so the only thing that I see coming up there is Kim and I, you and I, updating our passwords, access,
And
emails.
doing the final report for the disbursement.
That comes at the end of April. Yep.
So hopefully by then, our ARPA reporting will be either minimal or done.
they're caught up.
Yeah, it depends on federal government and where they go from here. We've had one response from them so far, and we'll see.
Cemetery report.
Good evening.
Good evening. Steve, could you speak up, because I've had folks say that they wanna hear.
You want, I can stand if that will help.
If you would feel more comfortable,
Probably not, a little hard for me to stand up, I won't get into that, but, so obviously we're in winter and presents special needs within the cemetery, but it's going well. We had some problems with snow plowing at first, our contractor was plowing snow up on some of the monuments. I talked with them and they have since addressed it, and I think what happened is they had a new guy plow. And as soon as I went over and talked to the owner, he's like, no, we don't do it that way. So that got resolved, and credit to him, they jumped right on it. We did close the west road in the old cemetery, as was approved in the last meeting. I'm very grateful we did that, just watching what's kind of unfolded with the winter storms and that. One of which was the ice storm, which brought down a lot of pine limbs in the cemetery. Quite frankly, it's a mess right now. What adds to the mess is a lot of the limbs are frozen to the ground. I did do a walkthrough assessment. No stones that I could find were damaged. And there was one that was a little covered up. I was able to uncover it, but the limbs are still there. So I reached out and we're gonna get a quote from Howden on what it's gonna take to clean that up. He recommended we wait a couple, probably another month or two, because he says you never know what we still got ahead of us. So, but he is gonna get me a quote, and I hope that that can be discussed and hopefully approved next meeting in February. Doing a lot of work on digitalization of records. There's a fair amount of obviously record keeping with cemeteries. And we have a lot of old books and old pieces of paper that are quite fragile. 90% of that is now in the cloud and is backed up. So if we did lose something, we just print it all. And we seem to be getting away from the quantum system, mainly from my perspective, because it's old technology, it's slow, but it's tough for me because I have to be in the office to do anything with it. Where using the Microsoft products that I'm using, it's much faster, it's much more efficient. The search capabilities are amazing. I can even search transit records, which are just photos. But the OneDrive is smart enough to do character read. And so the deeds that I've added, if I was looking up Jim Sperling, and I wanted to know your deed, I could just type in Jim. Maybe if I didn't remember how your last name was spelled, I'd go Jim S. And it would come up and say, well, we found this record of a deed, actually 2 or 3 maybe, because I have multiple hits, but yours is together. Yep. So it works really well. I'm very pleased with it, and I'm very pleased that it's all backed up. So that's been a fair amount of work, but it's almost done. And now we're gonna use that to get our physical records in order even more. Working through a lot of the discrepancies in the burial records, missing transit records, folks being found in a different grave than was showing the Ponta. Luckily, with the exception of 2, which have been resolved, they were on a plot that they owned. They were just in the wrong grave site, wrong position.
In one quadrant, the 4 quadrant, yeah.
So again, no harm, no foul, but my goal is we're done with that. We're not gonna have that happen again. That's a big one with me.
They didn't complain, did they?
They didn't, but the family, fortunately, the family fortunately was very willing to work with us, and one that happened within the last couple of years, and we got that resolved and got it in writing that they're okay with it. Very happy with the, Christmas time, a lot of nice decorations and things on the grave sites. The downer is, and I don't mean to be a Grinch at this point, but now we got spring coming, and in April, we're going to have a large cleanup, so, all of those things that were added to the sites is going to need to be taken back off. And the downside is, if I take it off, I don't know what to do with it. But if they take it, then if they wanna use it next year or whatever, they've got it. But it does need to be cleaned up. We're gonna have a drive to try to improve, I'll call it mowability, if that's such a word. In the cemetery, especially the new cemetery, try to contain those prices, either get them down or at least not let them go. I watched Howden's mow out there, and I have to be frank, I would not want to mow that myself, because there's things out in the main, rows, they have to mow around and trim around. And I talked to them, and it's driving that price up. So maybe we can work together as a community, figure out how we're gonna address that. Working on a 3-year contract for cemetery excavation services. Again, trying to get some price containment there. Obviously, things are going up with diesel fuel and equipment cost and that. And we've seen that just continue to increase. It's increased since I started. So I've talked with a contractor, and we're working through a 3-year, maybe we can kind of lock things in a little better. He does a good job for us. And then next month, I am going to be making a final proposed changes to the cemetery ordinance. Probably 4 or 5 statements that we can discuss next time around. A couple I wouldn't see as significant, but it's all in the eye of the beholder. Some folks may not like some of the things we propose, so we'll have to talk through that and work through it. Again, the intent is not to bull our way through this, but to work with people and see if we can just make our cemetery in a lot better shape and I'd much rather use funds for increasing the looks of the cemetery than mowing the lawn. So that's it.
We have like spring cleanup, is there, on the one place on the one side, we can add spring cleanup?
Well, and
There's time
that's,
for spring cleanup, what time to remove Christmas items, something of that nature can be added on there.
I think maybe next
Yeah.
month we can maybe
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
putting some schedules together. I was thinking maybe twice a year, have public come in and clean up. If they don't, then it would fall on volunteers on the cemetery committee.
I have a question for you too, actually. One isn't related to what we're talking about right now. Would there be a way, I'm just thinking about the various cemeteries I visit for my relatives, I don't think to go to their township websites when they're having cleanup, it just doesn't occur to me. Is there a way to keep track of some kind of a contact email or phone number? I mean, I know you're doing a lot of work and that's.
No,
down the
but
road,
that
to
is
me,
an excellent question.
if we created a listserv to
Mhm.
say, and you blast out twice a year, once in the spring, once in, I don't know, to say.
That contact list, and I'm very much thinking of building that, but that's gonna take some time. And partly because I haven't lived in this area for a long time. And so the story of how this person ended up in this grave site, even though their name doesn't match up with what's on the deed. And then I have to go out and dig and find the obituary and all that, and I start to see, well, that was their daughter, different name, but that's their daughter. If we had that contact list, number one, I'd like to send reminders out that, hey, spring cleaning's coming and I will be there to help on these days. If you have, a big heavy bench or something, we have a way we can help you get that moved. So yeah, again, kind of a more community effort, but I need that contact list. I really
Just a
need it.
question.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I'm glad
very
that-
good.
I'm sure it's on your radar. The other question that I have is, I think we were paying for some kind of membership, right, for Pontum. You're talking about how Microsoft is much more user-friendly and efficient. Are there any kind of annual membership or user fees for
It's in our, if you wanna answer this one, but it's in the Microsoft agreement through VC3.
that we already have, so
Yeah.
it's not costing us extra? And so we could potentially down the road, and so when you're ready, cancel Pontum altogether.
I would like to.
That is,
Also be a money saver.
that is what we're looking at doing, and it's about $415 a year annual subscription for what we're utilizing now on Quantum software. But what Steve has done has, in just a very short amount of time, in all the digitizing you've done of all the material, everything pretty much that you've laid hands on, you've digitized. And Kim and I both have access from our computers to these files. And Kim was showing me today, just typing in a name, if we have a request that comes in from a resident, I'm looking for, type in the name and it comes up. It's just wonderful how it's working. It's just so easy. And the other thing I always think about too is who's coming next in these positions? Who's coming next that will work with the cemetery? We want to make this easy and transferable to who's coming next in these positions. So Ponum, I knew from the start was too rigid, too complex, and
Old and slow.
there you go. So Excel is what you've used a lot
Yeah.
in, and also probably PDFs.
OneDrive. OneDrive is the data, it's not a database, but it's the data side. Excel is the front end. And so it sounds very antiquated, but it's not, with all the capabilities Microsoft has built,
Yeah.
especially with Azure behind the scene with the cloud and that. But what I like about it is not only do I see that Crystal owns, I'm gonna say, 112. Not only does she own it, but when I call that up, I see Crystal owns it, I see her deed in front of me, it's right there in front of me. If there were, if your family was there and you had some deceased, their transit records would be there, showing when they passed away and if they're a veteran or not. I'm in the process of loading, as I mentioned, the GPS capabilities, so that not only that, but off to the side, there'll be a map pop up and show you exactly where in the cemetery that's located.
The other
Good stuff.
step that I know you've talked to me about, and I think this idea is wonderful, that eventually, taking pictures of the headstones front and back, having that in the file.
It's in there. Not all the way, but there's about 20%.
20% of the headstones from the new cemetery are already loaded.
So that would be there.
That's amazing. And so really Steve has built this data bank to possibly be accessed by the public in the future. And one thing that I have found, Midland County does have a centralized website where they do have some of the cemeteries and the information accessible to the public. So that's a resource. And so we've already had a couple of folks from outside the township asking for, they're doing research on residents from way back or whatever. And so if we are able to eventually have that accessible by the public, that's amazing.
Steve, what you just described, what you're doing, what you just said, the headstones will be in the file. That needs to be a Saturday coffee for everybody to come see, and we're able to put it up here,
Yes,
okay, right? A
yes,
Saturday coffee. that
I
we-
agree.
There's a lot of people who have relatives in the cemetery, but once we get it up here, they can see it actually
Yeah.
progress. You're moving in the right direction, thank you, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Thank you.
I have one question. What about issues, anything needs in the cemetery, things to like trash containers, things like that we need to be adding, subtracting?
I would think we don't need the dumpster in the new cemetery. To me, that's just a catch-all, but I'll leave it at that. I've noticed a lot of the cemeteries are using trash cans and they're just putting a steel post and putting a cable around it so the wind or some person takes it off. But quite frankly, rather than deal with that goofy dumpster all the time, they keep tearing the lawn up. I would gladly, I'll just handle the trash can, that's easy.
What about in the old cemetery?
Same thing, there's a trash can over there, I'm actually gonna have to bring my tractor over to pick it up. It's full of water and everything else. That's fine, but yeah, but needs are pretty limited right now. I got lots of ideas, but that's down the road.
Good job. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Excellent
Really
report. Thank
appreciate it. Really
You've been
appreciate it.
busy.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
all the work. Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
time for a clerk report.
Clerk's report. So, just wanted to kind of, as we're seeing, more anticipation of our lakes returning, we're also seeing more activity on our lakes with, items being installed, built, and everything. I get all of the EGLE notices when somebody has been issued a permit or files for a permit, and I keep track of those. However, I did receive this past week a violation notice. And I just want to, I'm not gonna go through and read it or give you details about it, but apparently work was started. It looks like it was fairly complete. It involved seawall, some permanent dock. And EGLE went out, investigated, and could not identify permits. So just a word, if you're out there, you're doing something, installing docks, doing anything related to lakes, please get your EGLE permits in. The Water Resources Division is the one that apparently issued the violation notice, but I just want people to be aware, they are out and they are looking.
And
So-
especially for the permanent kinds of structures.
Exactly. So this is just one of those things, heads up. All right, on to the standard clerk's items. So this month, was a busy month, end of the month, lots of checks for payroll and things like that. But anyway, again, issued over 80 warrants, and we had approximately $52,000 in bills in the month. So we, I think all the trustees were going through and reviewing everything, and that's the bill. So I'd like to, I'd like to move to have those bills approved for payment.
I move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And since we're spending money, roll call. Hauser, yes. Kay Peters,
Yes.
A. Peters,
Yes.
Sperling,
Yes.
and Starkey.
Yes.
Thank you. I've also included in your packet tonight our standard kind of spend rate, looking at consolidated budgets to actuals. Had a lot of expenses, pretty much all the ones that are still, that were hot, we're spending down the budget faster than anticipated over the past past 4 or 5 months, has continued to the end of the year. I've also included in this report this time more detail behind how the money's being spent. It's not detailed all the way down to the checks, but it's kind of grouped in to some of the major categories. The first one, first of all, you'll note up at the top that this is accrual basis, and it is truly accrual basis because I wanted to get a good picture of what we had spent through with our December bills, which was what I just finished basically paying and, having put together for for January disbursement. Again, our income is down, but that's to be expected because of the primary source is the tax collections for a lot of these things. For the township, I just want to call notice a couple of things. I've highlighted two where we've got an over expenditure of our budget. The first one is our township hall, which also includes our utilities. And that has been kind of pricey for the last 6 months. We've had about $9,000 in utility expenses since the 1st of July. So that is something we need to just kind of keep track of. The other item is under Public Works. I was like, what? And basically that was the township payment to the Drain Commission. So both of those, okay. That's particularly a one-time payment, we won't see it again. Going on, the cemetery fund.
What page are you
Is
on?
the next page, I'm sorry, I didn't, page three, yes, page 3, the cemetery fund. Again, yard maintenance is high, and we know that attributed to mowing. Pretty much everything else, some of the smaller ones seem to stay in line. Looking at fire department, there's a couple of items there. There was some software that was purchased. It was ESO Solutions, and I believe that's one of the ones that Kevin is using for run analysis.
Yes.
There is also on kind of building maintenance. This was our garage doors. At some point, probably need to decide if we want to reclass that capital outlay or expense it. And then another equipment, which wasn't quite sure it was under miscellaneous, which is high, that was our fire hose inspection, and that was about $3,000.
Yep.
So that was a little maybe higher than something that we've not had before, but again needed. And I think it did determine that we needed to purchase some new hoses, correct, Roger?
Every year that gets tested, no matter what. That's just like the fire trucks. They raised the price a little bit, and I jumped them a little bit because they didn't do one thing. They didn't do the hard section. They tried to bill us for it, and I said, no, you didn't. You did not pay, you did not do that because I was there.
Thanks for paying attention to that. I'd just like to say one thing about having worked with Kevin on that run software, I forget the name of it. It is incredibly valuable, especially when we're looking for grants and other types of additional funding, so whatever we need to continue to do.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's just, we just need to probably be more aware of it and make sure we budget for it.
Sure.
In the future. Everything else was pretty much, we're very static. The waterway assessment is spent down. Parks and Rec, again, we're waiting for the final closing for the Vanderbush portrait, the Cranston Park expansion, let me rephrase that. Solid waste, just a note on that one. Right now, we are tracking funds in the general fund and paying for that out of general fund, and we are tracking that is accruing in the general fund. So again, we will reimburse the general fund when we start pulling in. And then Swanton, one of the things I just want to note on the Swanton, I think we've seen it multiple times now, is that our actual receipt from the trust fund this month was actually lower than anticipated by about 20%. So I think we need to now, understanding after having some discussions, we need to revise that and possibly even drop it down a little bit lower each year. It's a high management cost. So these are just some things I wanted everyone to have an opportunity to see. I apologize for not getting it out sooner, but I'm happy, in the future, we may need to try to sit down and tease out more, and anyone, if you're interested in knowing specifics, be happy to provide them.
Well, I think it's been great. It's been some excellent reading and gives us a good, I guess, not only a look back, but maybe a look forward too, as we project the rest of the year and then get ready for our GAA workshops in the spring. So I want to thank all involved here at this table. You guys have all had a role to play in that. And again, you've done a lot of heavy lifting, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not any updates from our border review, other than we had our December meeting, which,
We skipped official correspondence, so there.
no, she gave us the Eagle correspondence.
Oh, I didn't know that was official correspondence. I thought it was just an FYI. Okay, thank you.
State.
Yeah, that's about as official as it
Yeah.
gets. Number 13, Roger?
Yes, for December, runs, we had, total of runs is 303. We had 1 PI, 4 PDAs, 2 lift assists, 4 trees with wires, 4 wires down, 7 trees down, 2 investigations, 39 runs, on that for the year. So for that month. So we were busy the last part of December. That's why we ended up having some issues with the reporting system, because we've 27 runs after I turned everything into you guys. So just to give you heads up, we received 1 pallet of water was donated to the Edenville Fire Department from Ice Mountain. The new truck is in service. It passed the state of Michigan for medical first responder. Thanks to Jill and Mike. They were there with the guy doing a video going around the building, around the truck, and they worked their butts off. The Suburban is sitting outside. We have the stickers off it. I just gave Jim the parts, apparently. That's when I took it over to Highlands over off of Eastman Road. They went through the whole truck and they said, this is what this needs, and all that stuff. It's around about $4,000. So just to let you guys know, I don't know if you guys want to put money into it. That's up to you. My thing is right now, if someone wants it, get rid of it, because it's going to cost you a lot more money.
Everything's off the truck now?
The only thing I didn't take off is the light bar.
Yeah.
You know, all the stickers are off it, all that stuff. Everything's cleaned in it, so we took care of all that stuff.
Do we had any offers with it financially?
Not yet. Like I said, I don't know what you guys are interested in, wanting to put on.
Something, well, one guy gave me 5,000 or 7, you know.
Right.
You can put up for a higher price and always come down, you know.
Right. Right.
It's 91, right?
93.
93.
Yep.
And it's got 39,000 on it?
30, yeah.
And he said, because it's used for a fire vehicle and know you're used to it.
Oh, it's been, it's been beat on, it
Yeah.
has. And like I said, it's just.
Top is 75, you know.
So we'll see, like I said, you see what you
That's
get.
what I got from one of the guys, and I'm waiting for one more to come in, but
Right.
if we got $5,000, I think we'd be happy.
Right. Yeah, if you get 5 out of it, 4 out of it, I don't, just to say you got rid of it. That's the thing.
If we did sell it, go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
No,
No,
if we did sell it, what would you be out? Would you be lacking the vehicle? Would you be
No.
missing?
no, we got the new truck.
I understand. I just wanted to make sure that it wouldn't leave us in a hole of any kind.
No, we need to sit down in the department and discuss if we want to keep another truck, or we want to get rid of a truck. Because I know we were talking about that in the future, we decided to get a 6-man cab. We can get rid of 221 and 250. That's 2 trucks you can get rid of. Because 221 is an old truck. 250 was a 2000. So, when you look at, we don't use it that often. It's great for water rescue, because we carry all our stuff on that, but we'll have space on the 6-man cab, and we can have our wetsuits and stuff. Because we're gonna get the lake back, we know that for a fact. But yeah. So I'm trying to limit things down so we don't have a lot more trucks. Because, we're the department, I wish we could get more younger people, but it's taking time to try to get them. But we need to start going out to different places and that, education and stuff like that. Show them, hey, this is what we do. Pay for everything. We pay for your school, we pay for your firefighting, we pay, we take care of the, a medical first responder's license. If you go, want to get an EMT, we'll probably pay for that too. But that's something to think about. But, yeah. I do have to, like I said, I do have to change the locks at Station 2. I have to change that one because, like I said, I have an issue. We got a guy getting out of prison. I want to make sure we have everything taken care of. Also, the passcodes on the pad thing up there on the wall, the entrance to doors. I've got to change those. I'm working on that right now, how to change that stuff. So that's something I've got to get done. Because I know he's getting out here shortly. So.
Is that security codes or what are you talking about?
I have a keypad for the outside doors to open up one one door.
Oh.
So that's how I got.
Supposed to open up a
Yep.
door.
Yep.
Oh,
So, that's,
Ah.
it's been a long time since we have changed them. I do know there's a couple people out there that has keys, and I'm not sure if he has one, but he does know the passcode. So I need to get that changed. So I'll take that through that. And I did get a couple other things, like I said, the prices and stuff on the in between the doors because it's rusting out because of the salt. I had a guy stop, and I think it's like $1,900 to fix the doors at Station 1. It's right at the bottom. It's starting to rot the metal and stuff like that. Got a couple prices from them, so just give you a heads up.
So Station 1 door, which door is that?
What's that? The ones
That's
rusted?
rusting out?
The three front ones where you pull the big bays when you walk in, pull in. When they put salt down, it just killed the metal.
Those are the brand new doors?
Yeah, well, it's the centerpieces. It's the center post.
Oh, the center post on them. Okay,
Yep,
okay,
it's
we
not-
didn't, those were, okay.
Yep.
The doors are good. It's
The
just-
doors are good. And I like to know eventually someday,
It's part of the building.
yeah, I like to know someday about the heat though, because since we got the new doors insulated better, I like to know what, if we're spending more money or not on that.
They're not bringing the salt up to the doors this time?
No, they haven't, not now, they haven't.
Okay,
We,
good.
they took care, you guys took care of that situation, so yes.
Yeah, because he said he was gonna give you, make sure he was 3 feet from the
Yeah.
new doors.
And we do have to move the handicap walkway. We're gonna have to move it over towards the building a little bit more so we can get the truck in and out of there a little bit better. But we can get it out as long as you're safe. Driving it out.
Roger, when you start doing your rekeying, would you please work with me on that based on our new policy, key policy that we
Yeah,
started?
if can you send me the paperwork? I'll give you a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, I'll send you another copy of the key policy.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you, but I just want to make sure we're starting, we're putting a key vault so that we have like original copies of all keys in the vault at the office.
Okay.
And have them noted and stuff as original. So if we need to have additional copies made, we're gonna try to get a copy, use a do not copy
Right.
of a key.
And when I do this, I won't need to do that.
Yeah. But I'll
I can
send that
just
to
send
you
it, yeah.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else, Roger?
Nope, that's all I got.
Thank you. Okay, nothing from the museum. We did have an ordinance report. Greg Eagle sent in a report, it came in late. He's currently got 9 open complaints. In working through them, he had a court hearing on Monday with the judge kind of following up on the Berthium cleanup and making sure things were staying tidy. The judge in this case, Judge Carpenter, clarified that he wants us to track that and be all over that, that we've done enough of this work that we'll keep that going. They did, we asked about, and were told to please remove the RV there as part of the fall cleanup, and so that needs to come out, and we'll be working and coordinating to get that taken care of with that. And I have a conversation with him, and Jim, I think you're joining me this Wednesday to talk about combination of zoning and.
Thursday.
I'm sorry, Thursday, yes. Anyhow, aside from that, I think everything else is moving along. I know we've had a few new complaints come in, and we're walking through and looking at those. Let's see here. Parks and Rec.
That's what's next.
Yay!
Yay, okay, so just so you know that the working title for now is the Vanderbush expansion.
Okay, oh,
That's the
Okay.
working title. I have
Thank
to work
you.
it out with Mr. Vanderbush, but that was what was suggested. So as far as the purchase of the property, I think we are all in violent agreement with the purchase agreement. We just gotta get the lawyer to finalize it up. Is that a good conclusion, do you think, Art? And then the purchase will happen. Thinking towards spring, you were talking about the cemetery. So Meridian, in the past couple of years, they've been working up a day for the high schoolers to volunteer. And last year, we had them come, we had, I think, 3 or 4 kids come and painted the decorative fence there at Harbor. And we have eyes on what we want to do this year. The big zigzag walkway at Harper, it's been probably 4 or 5 years since it was stained. And last year we looked it over pretty carefully. The vertical pieces are actually fine, it's the horizontal pieces that aren't. And so Kimberly Gaskell and I spoke with the teacher from last spring, and we're like, so do you think your kids can do this? Like if we, well, anyway, we have to figure out a way to make sure that they're not all stuck at the bottom. We have to kind of figure out how to do it in a way that they're not stuck. But anyway, that's.
Especially if the water's back.
Yeah. Swim home, children. So what I need from you guys is the paint color that was used the last time.
wherever that might be.
Yeah.
We will try our best, and we have, actually, I have looked for that the last time we
We talked about this once before, yeah.
So would it be
and,
close to what you got? last-
No, it's not what they did at Harper Park up on top, because you used,
Oh, yeah,
I think,
that's
a
so
different
different,
stain color.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We have
and
to
so
talk to the
what-
company that did it before, which is this
Do
outfit,
you-
and I will email you my contact information
Please.
that I have.
Thank you.
The guy, it's out of Glavin, like the guy was old and then his son took over and I
wonder
have
if
that
this-
info, but I don't know if he's still around.
I wonder, since some of it is peeling, we might be able to take that in and get it
Yeah.
color matched, and maybe we start over with somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, but I'm
I don't
telling
know.
you, if we buy the stuff, we'll get the kids to do it. Just
Yes.
the horizontal pieces, and this you
Yeah.
can only do
I-
like every other time. Eventually you're gonna have to get the whole thing done.
Right. Well, and there will be some work if it's peeling, peeling off.
Well, that was, oh, yeah, well, and
So there will be quite a bit of work. I've been down there, and I am very curious as to how much stain this takes. And I believe it was 2022 that it was put in after the flood, or was it 2022?
21 or 22, I don't
Yeah.
remember which,
So I'm very curious as to how much stain
yeah,
and
And that
really
would-
weigh out what are our options?
yeah.
Are we gonna have to restain it every 2 years, every 3 years?
We've been doing it
Um,
like every 5, is what we have to do.
So, maybe it's something we look at as far as.
So I'll get you some,
Cost.
yes, that's why I wanted to
Expensive.
start talking about it now, because
Yep.
we got some homework to do, because you're
Yep.
right about that scraping.
Yep.
We wouldn't want the
I've
kids
been
to
down
scrape
there.
and paint on the same day.
I think
Anyway,
yeah.
if you have an idea, and it's always like a certain day. So it's like the Friday before Memorial Day or something, or Thursday or Friday before Memorial Day. What I understood, I didn't deal with the school, Kimberly did, but you kind of propose a project and you tell them how many students you need for like the
And
morning.
timeline.
For like Memorial, it's like
How long?
9:30 to 11:30, and then last year we bought the kids lunch at the little place right by Harper Park there. So if you wanna think about that, and if you think there is a use for kids, they're high school kids. I mean, they're not elementary school kids.
Got one, for sure, and that's painting white gates. At
Yes,
the entrance.
that's been on the
I might-
project list for a while too.
Might suggest cleaning off the white vinyl fencing, because that's got quite a bit of mold and mildew on it in both cemeteries.
But the fencing,
Yeah. the
and
gate
you know, I
fencing.
could even do the scraping in advance, that's not
Right.
a big deal.
Right,
If they paint them for me, that would help. a lot.
okay.
White paint would be better.
Yeah,
So I think, so we'll start kind of cooking on this a little bit for the
Yeah.
spring.
Good.
The,
thank you.
you know, there's 400 kids in that school. I think we can ask
That's
them for a
that's great
random number of
idea to-
children.
To engage in the community.
Oh, sure, yeah. And if we, you know, depending on how that day evolves, you know, like I said, it's all in one day. And if there's a couple kids doing cemetery and a couple kids doing Harper or whatever, you know, we could turn this into a whole little cleanup or whatever. So like last year, I had this one kid, while the rest of the kids were doing that fence painting, I had him like weed whacking the cattails away from the fence at Cranston Park. I mean, so the kid didn't seem to care and the teacher didn't seem to care. I think if we had handed him a chainsaw, that would be a problem, but I think if we, you know, we'd be okay. So I have a little homework to do to kind of loop everybody in.
Yeah.
And
Send it on
I
our-
gotta get Kimberly talking with the school. I think we are way more organized about this than the school is. Cause I think at the end, then like a bus sort of leaves and like drops people off. It was kind of wild.
Yeah, we wanna be very cautious.
It also,
And
to feed,
provide supervision.
to feed into that, one of the things that came up at the birth union hearing is that the parole division manages folks that are put on community service.
Oh,
And so if we have
Mhm.
projects that need to be done, these are folks that, so as we just keep an eye out for that,
Yes.
there might be
Yes.
an opportunity to do some cleanup and things
yeah,
like
cause
that.
as you guys probably have been learning, grants are great to build things. But grants don't usually pay for maintaining anything. Which is why it's a pretty serious consideration to go for a grant, I think, anyway. So yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe not on the same day as the high school kids.
No.
Do they have a day yet?
Well, last year it was the Friday before Memorial Day, but I will, so let's think about that day. And I know that there's like don't people put flags up on the cemeteries on
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day weekend
Or before.
or before? I mean, I don't know who does that, but.
I think,
Historically, the
Catherine.
museum.
Catherine has
Yeah.
been doing
That's it. That's the end of my report.
Well, lots going on. Crystal, I had you down for planning commission, but I understand we have a new planning commission chair that's with us.
Woohoo!
One of you two wanted to say a few words, I know you met.
It's up there if I can, if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't come prepared.
We met last night, thank you, I appreciate that. We met last night, and we elected a new chair or Potts. I'll serve as the temporary secretary until hopefully our other new member, Travis Sitzman, will be willing to take that position, so we'll see. We are meeting again on February 2nd. We've got a number of proposals in front of us and things we need to consider, so we have a lot of work. We have a lot of work, several meetings and public hearings. So you'll be seeing all of those posted on our website and calendar very soon. Anything that you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the fray.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Zoning administrator's report. Our zoning administrator resigned at the end of the year. And so we'll be working through some things, but likely posting for a zoning administrator enforcement officer position in the next month or two for that. Zoning Board of Appeals, Jim?
No meeting scheduled or anything, but I've been in contact with the building inspector on a couple of things, containers that are popping up here and there. And they tell me there's a state, they have to be tied down by state.
Oh.
They have to be tied down.
Oh,
They have to be anchored, and he's gonna get me that paperwork, so I hope I have it. All containers, but it must be on either concrete or cement slab, and not be on grass. They gotta have a foundation. That's-
Could it be wood, platform? No?
He said concrete
Concrete?
or gravel,
Or gravel? Okay,
you know, so
okay.
I'm gonna get me some documentation, so. That's why we have a new one popping up, and we have one that was a fifth wheel with a smoker next to it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
We got a couple things to chase down.
Is that something worthwhile adding to the township code authority? Some of those rules or regulations on container?
Well, if I get the state rate,
Zone. That
So
would be
if-
zone.
What you do, we'll add it to our zoning.
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
okay. Thank you.
is that,
Okay. Old business, grant update. I know we've been
Yes.
turning the crank heavily.
Yes, we were able, we had actually had an inquiry from the Midland Area Community Foundation regarding some funding that we had talked about earlier, and they were anxious for us to reapply or apply for at this time. So through our grant writer, we worked with them, and he actually pushed the button and submitted it this afternoon. So it is Ed of Midland Area Community Foundation. So thank folks that provided letters of support. And the only little disheartening thing was after, as part of this, I went out and asked for a new bid on our self-contained breathing apparatus. And the price from last fall has gone up in total about $10,000. So that's on 4. Well, that was the big one.
Per piece.
Well, that was for the big, all covering everything. And so what this grant will do will cover somewhere around 4 units. For
Okay.
the base of just 4 units. So it'll be about just over 21,000, almost $22,000 if we receive it.
Okay.
So that is done, and still nothing on federal funding for FEMA, on the American Firefighters Grant, so we're still waiting.
Okay.
That's it.
Excellent. New business, we have a couple things to crank through here. First one was, we heard from Jennifer Boyer, who is the emergency coordinator for Midland County. Midland County has adopted a new county hazard mitigation plan and was looking for us to pass a resolution that is included in your packet, basically saying that we acknowledge that they have a plan and that we will work with them on that. And that is needed by Jennifer for all of the townships so that Midland County qualifies for FEMA assistance should there be a disaster declared on that. So I will make a motion to adopt Resolution 2601, which is in the packet there. Do I have a second?
Second.
that's that small writing, yeah, but.
Yeah.
I have to look at that for you.
Sorry. It was a PDF and it shrinks down.
I thought you were just saving paper, I don't know.
That's my eyesight is Jim. No. Any other questions, comments, concerns, discussions? Pretty stated.
Yeah.
Okay, since this is a formal resolution, let's do a roll call, please.
Okay, Starkey,
Yes.
Sperling,
Yes,
A. Peters,
Yes.
Kay Peters?
Yes.
Hauser, yes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got kind of the signature page, we'll get that
Mm-hmm. Tonight.
back to her.
Okay.
Next in your packet, 21B, is our poverty guidelines. These were updated by our assessor and they're following federal poverty numbers. It's very consistent with what we've done in the past, where we actually have a sliding scale that basically says that if your income is below federal poverty guidelines, then you qualify for exemption from your property taxes, not the assessments or fees, but property taxes on your homestead property. The table there reflects what the guidelines are. Edenville historically has then added a kicker that says if you make more than poverty, but under $1,500 less than you qualify for a 75% reduction, and then a 50%, a 25%, and then no. And it basically is trying to help people that are on the edge with a little thing there. It's also indexed by number of people living in the household. It also has a total assets test that we adopted and used last year as well, set at $30,000 for that. And so with the Board of Review coming up in March, we need to pass this. And so I would ask for someone to, I'll move to pass it.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. And any questions, comments, concerns, changes? Hearing none, call a vote.
Hauser, yes. Kay Peters?
Yes.
Kay Peters?
Yes.
Jim Sperling?
Yes.
Crystal Starkey?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We're actually ahead of where we were last year on this, so thank you.
Yeah.
We're moving on with that. Much appreciated. And I also appreciate you guys taking a consideration for the sliding scale. We didn't have to do that, but I feel like that's a good thing for our Board of Review to deal with. Okay. Kim, I misspoke earlier. I did not include the,
That's why I talked about it.
I know, I'm sorry.
What are we talking about?
The trash container.
Yeah.
Thing. Included here at the end of your packet, in about 100 pages worth, is our draft master plan. I wanted to get it out to you guys. It's included here. I cannot even begin to say how much I appreciate all the hard work that the Planning Commission has put into this. I mean, it is a great piece of work. I've read through it. I've got to read through it a couple more times, but I think it captures a very aspirational what we want to look at and do. Guys, I'm introducing it this evening. I'm going to ask us to take a read through it. And then next month, I will ask, do we want to approve it with a conversation, or if you would each get back to me and say, maybe, no, this is a separate dedicated session. I'm open for that as well. And candidly, we can just say we're gonna bookmark 20 minutes to discuss it, but I know that this is a huge piece of work. It paints a tapestry for us to look at going forward with what we wanna do.
So we're not voting on this tonight then?
No.
Well, then can those dates I gave you for the 62 days out for the planning commission public hearing no longer apply? Because we can't have that. The 62 to count date doesn't start till the township board approves it, so. Well,
I just felt that there was too
Like
much
you
here.
have the chair now, there's secretary.
We just elected those last night.
I know.
Yeah.
Update your pretty.
Hmm.
But
Well,
it's,
is that-
there's a lot of work there.
Well, it's a huge amount of work.
Mhm.
I'd be happy to answer any questions or work closely with them on it, read it through
Right,
too many times,
right.
so. if you
What do you
have
see
any
as a major change? Is there any major change in what
Major changes, I don't know that there's major changes, I think what was really
corrections?
crucial that he really highlighted, we held those focus group gatherings and really he captured what our community said that they wanted to see in 5, 10, 15, 20 years in Edenville Township, and he did a really good job of capturing that in there. A lot of these, not to some of these pages are prosaic, that are just common to most master plans, especially in our county, right, or nearby. So some of that is just what has to be in there. But the part that I was really impressed by is how well we worked with the community and then included that detail there. And it's represented there, and I think anyone who attended, whether they attended in person or submitted written recommendations, could see themselves reflected in that. And I was really proud to see that, so.
With your timeframe, do you want to have a special meeting?
We have to hold the planning commission has to hold a public
I
hearing.
know,
but
but
then we
you, for
can't-
us to move on it,
Right,
wait a 4 months,
right. I was
Oh.
thinking the same thing, Jim.
maybe give us 2 weeks.
Is there
and
an
back in for a
Urgency
quick
that
session?
we
No.
should,
No?
No, we have to, it has to pass this year. This is we're on our deadline.
twenty
this year.
twenty-six?
I would prefer sooner than later, so if we could at least have a vote at our February meeting, that would give you a month to read it. And
Sure.
like I said, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Crystal, is that, just point of clarification, is that calendar year or fiscal year that we have to have it? Do we have to pass it by June 30th or December 31st? That's a big 6 months.
Well, hopefully we can pass it in February.
Yeah, but I just,
My intent was to call for a vote then,
Yeah, that sounds fine. And then if in
but I also
between
wanted to
now
give
and
folks a chance
then-
to.
to read it.
read it, yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
in between now and then,
I
if you have
did read it
Great.
quickly, the first kind of week, okay, I'm gonna sit down and go through this. And, first of all, tremendous amount of work, was very happy to see some of the more, key performance indicators being listed and having the baseline measures and then, but one of my major concerns with this plan is, basically on page 19, which is volunteer activities. And I do feel like that this plan is going to need a lot of folks engaging. And I think that is one of the things that is how do we get that engagement started? And I agree, I was at the focus group session and it was absolutely great. But what we gotta figure out is how to start small
I
and
raised the
building.
same concerns, and what we have to remind ourselves is this is a master plan that sets future goals for 5, 10, 15, 20 years out.
Exactly.
So if we achieved a small percentage of this in 5 years, it would be considered, I think, successful.
And I think,
And then, and one of the things that, we talked ad nauseum about was that we, if the township could afford it, would be to have someone who oversaw volunteer activities, who oversaw grants specifically, that would be their only job. Is that a volunteer position? Is that a paid position? I said, I don't know, we can afford that kind of thing. They said, but we're not looking at right now. We're trying to make a plan for where we want
right,
it to be.
exactly.
It's like mission and visions, right? Like this is where we're hoping that we're always going to be falling in line with. And I'd rather us, have it be more ambitious. Is this an ambitious goal? Yeah, I think a lot of this is. But why not?
Yeah,
Try
well,
for
that's
it.
just, like I said, that was my one big thing is I understand, that this is a long, strategic plan, long-range plan, but, it's like what to get the thing even off the ground so that in 5 years, we might have some minor measurable is how to really start trying to understand. I mean, Steve referenced potentially, I think just, like a committee for cemetery. Parks and Rec we have, but it's not really that active. And I think it's trying to see how, that's where I'm trying to, I can see
Yeah.
using this as a launching point.
Yeah.
To try to drive some volunteer engagement and really moving us forward. So that's just a comment that, like I said, one of the things that I just looked at is, yes, it is long-term, but there's a lot of things, if we could start doing some immediate small things, that maybe will dovetail into it faster.
I think that leads into something that I've been thinking about. I was going to comment on it at the end here on my comment part, but it does tie into communication. And I feel like we're not getting enough communication out to our residents. What can we do? Our website, we'd all like to make improvements to that. Do we need a new official Facebook page for Edenville Township? There is none right now. The other thing I thought of was a newsletter and sending that out by email to those who opt in. Right now, I'm sending out a lot of tax bills by email, and people are fine with that. But what I was thinking of, how can we produce more communication and communicate at a greater level? It doesn't have to be the full master plan here, but little bites. If we can start communicating some of these things that are being developed and kind of talked about, planned out in all of our different areas, that we could hopefully get more interest from residents to come on board and to be, be involved in a part that they will enjoy, that they will like, that they have passion for. That's a thought. I would love to talk about that.
That sounds like another Saturday.
Well, I don't think it would take that long, Jim, because
No, I mean,
it's more or less, again, to Crystal's point, what can our township afford to do?
Yeah.
Can we pay someone $100 a month for the next 6 months to launch a new website, to launch a Facebook page, and start collecting emails? Have it opt-in, opt-outs, I think that can happen, but it takes the right person, takes some skills, willingness. It's a part, I don't know. It's something that I would like to bring up, I guess, in February and see where we go from it. How else are we going to let people know and ask for them? Come on, we need your input, we need your participation, and make this more of a community of folks.
It's starting to sound like we need a dedicated session.
Well, like I said, you guys cogitate on it a little bit and we'll see
Yeah.
where we go and what we want to do. See what we,
And appreciate any of your thoughts or
Okay, sure.
In the
I'll be here for that.
in the old days, we actually did a township newsletter. I can
Yes.
remember at 5 o'clock in the morning having an armful of labels because I wasn't gonna send 10 newsletters to somebody that owned 10 pieces of property. Had a synopsis of the meetings, what we were doing, dreams, visions, and
yes.
as the old church secretary says, feed them, they will come.
All right,
Feed them, they will come.
good point. Thank
But
you.
I like the newsletter idea, that's.
And by email, it wouldn't cost us
Oh,
something.
absolutely.
I'm
And
always looking at cost.
Organizations do it, email nowadays, League of Women Voters, all of us, we do it.
And often people are writing it on their tax payments, their stubs. And so I think we could, if we hire somebody, if we choose to, maybe we can find a volunteer to do the communication side of things. But I think we can do that relatively economically.
So that moves us into 22, which is board comments. Dad, do you have anything else? you want?
I would just like to say that we do currently have 2 employment opportunities available. One is the facilities manager, and one is the zoning administrator. And we'd like to get that news out, the job descriptions, one is already posted on our homepage, on our website, we'll get the other one out there as well. But we'd like to get those filled, and, yeah.
Actually, I'd like to thank the board, my fellow trustees for the last 6 months in bearing with me as I've eased myself into the job. I greatly appreciate the time and space, and I'm hoping what I'm getting to you guys is worthwhile and useful, trying hard, lots of things to do, but I've been very appreciative of that. Again, I'll echo what Kathy says, I think we do need to increase our communications. I will once again say, if anyone has any question about township finances, wants a Township Finance 101 class or something like that, please email me, clerk@edenvilletwp.org, set up a time and chat, would love to.
Crystal?
I was just a little confused by Roger's public comment about what he was referring to or upset about, or do you know anything about it? I don't understand what he was, I don't know, I can ask him. I thought he'd still be here, I was gonna ask him how he seemed upset about something, and I was very confused by that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being a small township and having a volunteer fire department, which has been very good. And we've been very responsible at getting 90% of what they need. And, we still need, lacking some things to, financially, it's a burden sometimes, okay? And I don't know what, there's been discussion from Roger and a few other people that somebody's hurt somebody's feelings, and I know that happens, okay? Gets your toes stepped on and
You know what happened?
react a little bit.
You know what happened? Do you know what happened?
No.
Oh.
I don't.
All right, I'm trying to figure out.
But we have to work together no matter what. We need to go after grants, we need to go after, just trying, it's like husband and wife, you don't always get to go, okay? I know that. She stepped on my toe, I step on her toe occasionally, but Mark, she's a tough lady. She has to react. We need to look, if we've done something that's offensive, we need to solve it, one way or another, okay? We have to respect, the fire chief has been a fire chief for many moons. Done his job. Got a nice crew. I sure don't wanna lose them. Or the crew, I hopefully whatever is at rest, we can settle it and move on and go whatever we need to get, we do it. That's just me.
I've talked myself out, so. With that, folks, I would say another meeting's in the can. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you.
We need a motion. and a
Oh, don't we have a
second.
motion to adjourn?
Jim made it.
Jim made it.
Okay,
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, go ahead.